Yeah, so good afternoon to all the viewers of Ayush Darpan. Now I'm very proud to introduce you a very uh, well-known expert to many our Ayurvedic fraternity, different international seminars and workshop. He's presenting his lectures. He's Dr. Damika Abeguenavara Dina, and he's BMS Diploma of AHM, MSc, DLIT, and Provisional Commissioner of Ayurveda in the Provisional Department of Ayurveda, that is in Palakkal, Kundalsel, and near Kandy, Sri Lanka. So I welcome to Dr. Damika. In this, I'm just briefing you that we are now live on a page that is Ayush Darpan. That is a page in which there are so many students and doctors as well as the practitioners of India as well as abroad are uh, uh, actually interacting with the lectures, different lectures. We are running a lecture series on that page. Actually, this program will be live on the main page at 8 p.m. But because now I am just recording this program, that's why I have already lived it in a small page. So I welcome to all of you. And Damika is a provincial Ayurvedic commissioner in India. It is like the director of Ayurveda in Unani Services, the same post rank in Sri Lanka. So Damika, can you, sir, can you explain that what is the present condition of COVID-19 in Sri Lanka?
Yes, yes. Thank you for invite for me with your channel. First, I want to. I mean, may I going to tell my name correctly because I know
Yeah,
you can tell
yeah,
my
yeah.
name. I am Dr. Dhammika Abegunawardena. I am the Provincial Commissioner of Ayurveda in Central Province, Sri Lanka, and I am a senior government officer. I am administrator of this province. You know that Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, but in not in Sri Lanka, Ayush, all the other why homeopathy we not under the my purview. Okay, anyhow, now you ask the I think more common and latest question from me. In Sri Lanka, now we are under control that COVID situation. I think the government people and all the people together do that. In current situation is 804 COVID positive patients in Sri Lanka, but 215 complete recovered, and we have only reported the 9 deaths. Mm, but other rest of the people, 571 people now in the hospital under the medical treatment. Uh, most of the people now taking the Ayurveda remedies and traditional remedies for prevention of this condition. I think the world first country introduced the prevention. The government approved the prevention measures to the COVID through traditional system. Therefore, we started the use that prevention drugs and other traditional system of medicine activities couple of weeks. I think now we are in next week, next Monday, our government going to open the country. They are going to release the lockdown. I think after that, we are think about that after the situation. If the people can make their distance and the guidance who are given from the WHO, the 5 principles, if they follow, I think we can survive. That is the situation of current Sri Lanka.
Okay, Dr. Damika, actually our pronunciation is a little bit in Hindi, so that's why. But
Okay, no harm.
yeah, actually, in India, the Ministry of Ayush has given a chance for the Ayurvedic professionals to give their formulations and whatever they have, and now today our health minister also announced that now the formulations of Ayurveda, especially in which Ashwagandha, Giloy, and Satavari, these type of herbs are now clinically trialed in the different patients who are suffering from COVID-19 or they are in contact with the COVID-19. So, is there any such type of movement that is also started in Sri Lanka also? Because clinical trial is very essential if we are doing any claim. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in Sri Lanka, yes, we have the prevention protocol and treatment protocol also. But in the current situation, government not approved the treatment protocol to the traditional persons. But we already we prepared the document. We hand over to the government because you know that in Sri Lanka, our practice is little bit different than other countries. In Sri Lanka, if any COVID patient is found, and you know that we are trying to catch the ring 1, ring 2, and ring 3. If any COVID patient the PCR is positive, we are sent to the specialized hospital, and after that the first contact person we catch all the person, then we check the PCR, and after that we put the government quarantine centers, and ring 3 people also we quarantine with the home, their home. But only the patient who are in the hospital, the government Western medicine, they are going to manage that the hospitalized. I think there are no treatment from the Western side also, but in that hospital, you know, we had a special hospital in IDH. We call the infectious disease hospital in Colombo. In that hospital, our ministry allowed to give the Desandun Kalka is a traditional remedy in Sri Lanka. We are using for the small children because the Desandun Kalka, the red sandalwood contain that Kalka, and Sudarshana Churnam. In that two remedies we are sent to that hospital. If any patient like to have that drug, then they can use that. And you know that some other and you know that other some medicines, if they like, and the patient like, and the Western doctors allowed it to take they take that remedies. But actually, we are under our hospital, we don't have any patient. All the patients in the Western hospital, they are under they are.
What is the current scenario in Sri Lanka, the COVID-19 patients? What is the number? Actually, what is the present scenario in your Sri Lanka? I want to know. Number of
The
patients.
scenario is yes, I told you now 804. I don't have we have 804 positive patients, but only we found 9 deaths. But those people are, you know, that the elder, and they are suffering some more complicated diseases like a kidney failure, heart disease, diabetic, like that. And one case in Sri Lanka, I think around 41-year gentleman, but our people can't find what is the reason of that death, because we are not doing the postmortem after the death. If any person die in that hospital, suddenly we send to the cremation and everything, because if we done the postmortem and we can find the cause, but unfortunately we are not done that patient also the postmortem. That is, we can't say what is the reason of that young patient.
Dr. Dhamika, actually, in recent days, everybody is now talking about the lifestyle changes, and actually, in all over the world, the lockdown is. I think it is a global scenario. Almost all the countries have followed these lockdown rules, and everybody is stuck to his home. And what do you think about what type of lifestyle changes we need during this lockdown period? Can you explain it elaborately? Yeah.
Yes, I think you asked a good question, because in Sri Lanka there are three type of three type of lockdown. One is the quarantine under the government institute. Most of the places under the army, navy, and air force, the military. Another person we sent to the home quarantine, home. That also lockdown, and they can't come out, and they all the people stay in the home. Number 3, we lock the whole village. Sometimes the divisional secretary area, one division, all the people should have inside that division. Anyone can't go out. Our researchers and most of our sociology people says that you know that the first week they can live. After the first week, gradually they are stressed little higher, and after the final week they can't stay home, because all the people are human. They like to together, and they like to share their views. But unfortunately, COVID we separate all the peoples. The girlfriend can't meet the boyfriend like that, husband can't meet the wife, and parent can't meet the children like that. Big problem. I think now in my department, in my colleagues now plan to give the good plan within the 21 days, what we have to do within that period, the day 1, day 2, day 3, like that, up to 21 days, give plan. Because after the 21 days, when they come to their homes, again they have to stay in the 14 days, because you know that anyone can't explain the behavior of this virus. Sometimes some people saying that it start the symptoms in day 2, some are saying that day 14. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, we found that day 33. After the expo, day 33, one case we found. Therefore, we can't say behavior of the virus. And after that, we are under the quarantine for 21 days in our government center. And after we send to the home, again quarantine, and the big problem, social problem. Therefore, most people, another problem is most of people inside the home, husband, wife, the children, grandmother, grandfather, and all the people in a small house. I think that is the place, that is one of the place more complex. You know that the small thing happening inside the family, because they want to go out, they can't tell their problems to other people, and there are some problems now little bit coming. After that, our psychiatric people give so many advices. You better stay like this, you better stay like this. But unfortunately, in traditional physician can't go inside that center and go inside the quarantine. The people are very fear to the unknown, unseen coronavirus. Therefore, always we try to make a call and give our advisors and what they need to help personal inside the house, and ask, are you any problem? Are you want to say anything? Are you any medicine? And we are try to give this message via phone call, but it's not 100%. We can't complete the 100%. So many things happening inside the quarantine center, quarantine at home, or lockdown area.
Okay.
That is the situation. I think today my topic like is like that lifestyle changes. I think this is the opportunity to our people also think about how we change lifestyle in this type of incident, this type of disaster. Again, we can think. I don't know that I don't have any much knowledge about the India. In Sri Lanka, our government put the curfew, police curfew. Now the 35 days, I think those people inside their homes, they can't go out. Only can go to the medical personnel and security personnel only. Other people inside their homes. That is the situation. That is the stress and lifestyle pattern in Sri Lanka.
Actually, we think that when we are in Bangladesh and the corona infection starts at that time for a Ayush workshop.
Yeah.
Yes. And at that time, the same actually in that time the scenario is not so much actually complicated, and so we everything is we handle it smoothly, and we just come out from the Dhaka to India. But actually after after 15 or 1 month after, the situation is very critical and so many people die, and the lockdown was in actually it is still in force, and India still is in force. I think in many countries they have not properly the actual government is not imposing the lockdown like in United States and other countries. But in these days, everybody is now thinking about the lifestyle, the Ayurvedic lifestyle, the Ayurvedic dinacharya, the ritucharya, everything. Now people are talking and they are not shaking their hands, they're just doing the namaste or whatever. Yes, these things, social distancing, everything nowadays everybody is now following these things. Do you think that actually Sri Lanka has a good connection relations with India also, as we know that the culture as well as the many things are so much similar, and actually the Ayurveda, if we look at the Ayurvedic context, many things are explained in Ayurvedic text, which is now like Janpado Dhans and like Sankramak Roga. These are the some references where it is mentioned that the prasangat gat sansparsanat swasat sah bhojanat means the social distancing a little bit. It is also mentioned in our Sushruta Sanhita. So what is your message to the people who are actually you are a government official and working in higher post in Sri Lanka? So what do you think that what was now the people have to think about that the Ayurvedic science is actually this is a way of life, and I think your topic is also in the Ayurvedic lifestyle. So what type of lifestyle changes you advise to the people who are stuck in the lockdown? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, yes, and when we, I think when we are in the Bangladesh, in that time is the starting point of that
Yeah.
COVID spreading on the world. And after that, February 25th, I went to the Thailand. I stay in the 1 month in Thailand, but the Thailand management is little bit different than your country and my country. Uh, anyhow, now I think the all Ayurveda people should have to think about that our lifestyle now more important to the all of the world, not in the uh, Asian country, not in the Middle East country. I think the Europe also and Prime Minister and other people and American Prime Minister they say namaste and like the Taibo one, they they are not doing that. They are shake hand. That is the social distancing. And in our country also same. In Sri Lanka, we are practicing. Normally Sri Lankan people and India, I think Indian people also practicing like that namaste and that being together with their hand. And now we try to now I have some idea with to share with you. You know that in our quarantine centers there are more than 50 to 200 persons, and all the people uh, they are advised to wake up early in the morning 5:30, and after the 6 o'clock they give their cup of tea, and 6:30 the one cup of herbal porridge, and after that the breakfast. The breakfast include the 3 or 4 varieties, and 10 o'clock they give some cup of milk tea like that, and after the lunch the heavy lunch what they need, then they can eat more. And evening also the breakfast also like dinner also like that, they give the ice cream, yogurt, fruit and everything, because the there are that the first when we start in the quarantine centers, but the people not react that they always try to give argument why we are going to why we not going to our home, why we are going to send to the quarantine special centers, but they don't have any ideas. And other the our army personnel, they done one thing, they give the lot of food what they need, whatever everything they provide those people and ask to eat and sit and stay. And after that we notice there are big issues, because in this corona situation our all western medical hospital they stop their clinics means the diabetic clinics, hypertension clinics, all the clinics they stop. And after and they send to their medicine to the home through post. In quarantine center also same like that, all the people have medicine but no medical advices, they get the routine blood pressure checking and diabetic blood sugar like that, they don't have. Only they can eat, they have medicine. uh, and if we what they have no idea how I take the medicine in those days, they continue like that same. So they only they have food, but not the military person, not the instructor for the change of their lives, because all the people very fear to move or to closer. They stay room like that. In one room, 2 person, no, in whole 3 or 4 person, because social distance. And you know that in that type of condition, most of the people normally autonomy gradually increase their uh, pressure. We call the stress. Therefore, we are the Ayurvedic people. We think about that question, the problem. We notice that, and we discuss the quarantine, the management centers. We wish to come to your places, and we can introduce, especially dinacharya and yoga. Not the all the things, because that these people are not that diseases. They don't have any disease, only the quarantine, but the age is different. uh, the small child to up to 70s 80s, like that, and their attitudes are very 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 vary, and their cultures are vary. The Sinhala people, Muslim people, and Tamil people, and so many, and foreigners, and all the people are living in the one quarantine center. I personally do only that care, but we try to advise those people, no, not only the care, we can do something through our traditional system and Ayurveda system, and give the opportunity to enter these quarantine centers, and we can do life modifications. Life modification mean what time they should have to wake up in the morning, rise in the morning, and after the what time they can go to the sleep. In between, what they can use. In my plan is, my advice is, if after if any person complete their 21 days quarantine, if we can give the plant, then after that they can go to the, it's put in their garden, and they can serve our earth, like that. Can you understand me? I think you know that the
Yeah, yeah.
some plants are value the medicine and food value, and we are try to give those people one plant for the each person, because in now current and every the cycle is going 21 day cycle, 21 day cycle, 21 day cycle, 21 day cycle. And now we are planned, and now we are introduced that proposal to the government. Now ask them, and after that, that all the people, most of the 99% people, they not positive the corona, coronavirus. Only just we quarantine, and that time the strength of these people and energy of these people, we are trying to use the building of nation. That is the traditional view. And after that, we discuss how we going to implement the yoga and other things. That is the our view. That's my proposal to the government. If we use this, and that energy we can use for the future work.
Very nicely explained regarding the dinacharya and ritucharya and lifestyle related issues. Actually, the whole world is a new village. This also proves during this COVID-19 problem, because no either the rich country or poor country or developed country or underdeveloped country, everybody is facing the same problem. It proves that the the scenario that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, whole the world is a village. So I think that what type of medicines, like the Ayush medicines or the Ayurvedic medicines, what type of medicines you are prescribing in Sri Lanka, especially the patient. I'm not asking about the COVID-19 sufferers. The secondary cases, like which are suffering from the pratishyaya or such type of the upper respiratory tract infection who are coming to your OPD. What type of medicine you are preferring there for treating such patients? I just want to know about this. Our
Yeah.
audience and our students also want to know about this.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, and in Sri Lanka, we developed the two protocols. One is for the prevention side, one is the curative side, and especially we use in the prevention side. There are stages wise. Week one course for the 1 week. Second week there are another remedies. Third week another remedies, like that. Normally in Sri Lanka, most of the people, they are autonomy, they start drinking the coriander, and after that our departments, we modified coriander, very well, and ginger. You know that the daru haridra in Sri Lanka, we use that the very well. We don't have, I think the Indian name is daru haridra. You know the daru haridra.
Yeah, Daru
And
Ridra, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Berberis
and
aristata,
ginger.
Berberis aristata.
Yeah, yeah, but it's very starter. Yes, and we use the 5 part of the coriander and 2 part of the darwa haridra and 1 part of the ginger, and we powdered and those things, and after that we distribute all the. Especially we gave to the army, the security forces, army, air force, and navy and police person who are involved direct to the these the controlling these problem, and especially high officers, the government servant, we freely distribute and that, and for the maximum 14 days, and after that they should have to stop. The better way is the 7 days. Sometimes because we can't distribute, we can't go that places, and we give the 100-gram packets to drink, and they can use that 1 teaspoonful to with the hot water, and just they can drink the morning and evening. Ashtanga Dhupa is the most the good things, and but some our virologists say that don't use the combination of the Duma iron, because the resins, all the resins, sometimes the virus is resistant. Therefore, you better use the one material. Therefore, we use the agil. First, we use the agil. I like the Ashtanga Dhupa, what they contain, and gradually week by week we use the that medicine for the Dhumayana. And there's another one, and you know that the we call the Pirunka and Vacha. What we call the Vacha, you know that the Vacha, and that the resin, I can't, I forget that we give all the people to Hindu and Vacha, and they can keep their arms like a band. One is used, fiction of their Zarwaridra and ginger. And after that, if anyone have any symptoms, because our people explain this is the Vatakapajjara, and after that Vatakapajjara, and it contains some pit doshan, and finally they go to the Sannipata. Therefore, they introduce the, if you have time, then they go, you can use the Shadangapana, and there are so many and Devdar 5 like that. That's Savijit, and now I can't remember that all the things, because stage by stage there are so many things, because we have to think about the Prakurti, and you know that the dosha balabala and everything, we have to think about that, because I think you clearly asked that question, not corona. We treat the patient, treat the person to person. Therefore, that remedies and we use. And after that, our how we going to treat this if the something is happened, if the capacity threshold is uh, broken. I think all the people come to our hospital, autonomy, and we are ready to treat the patient who any patient asks to do something for their illness, and we have to the patient regime, not the corona, not the COVID, like that. We have treatment plan, but I am direct not involved. I am a manager, because I have the oral idea, but I can't explain as like you why using like that.
Dr. Dhameka, I just want to know that how the government offices were in that, like here, the Department of Ayush, and under Department of Ayush, there are regional district Ayurveda Unani officers, and there are so many dispensaries in periphery working. So what type of government structure is there in Sri Lanka? Just I want to know, and and our audience were also interested to know that how the in Sri Lanka the Ayurveda department works. I just want to know.
Yes, in Sri Lanka, there's a cabinet ministry for Ayurveda. We call the Ministry of Medicine Department, Modern Medicine Ministry, and Ayurveda Medicine together. We call the Ministry of Health and Indigenous Services. The one minister, cabinet level minister, and two wings. One is the Director General of Health Service, other wing is a Commission of Ayurveda. After that, in Sri Lanka, divided 9 provinces. In each province, like your state, each province we have the provincial commissioner. He is one of the provincial commissioner. I am the one provincial commissioner in the central province in Sri Lanka. Under the one umbrella, we come to the provincial level, and each provincial level and central level there are department of Ayurveda, and we have a 6 objectives. We have to serve Sri Lanka, all the hospital, the government hospital, uh, there are no limitation. The poor person and the most top rich person can go to the government hospital, and any condition of treatment you can get the totally free. According to the Ayurveda sector, the curative service also, we give the medicine, we pay our all the services, personal salaries and everything, and drug and everything to the hospital. Even if the patient is admitted to our hospital, they can get a free of charge medicine and food also. And second objective is preventive. The most valuable part is the preventive. If the preventive part is the most strength, I think the people want to come to the hospital, because they can, if the people are more healthy, is the value for the our economy, because they can work their home, they can work, they can do their jobs in their vision. And number three, in King Ravana, and we have the strong traditional system of medicine, but we can't find the more textbook regarding the traditional medicine side. But the people come the decades to decades with, we have to give support to the entrepreneurism. Entrepreneurism is in Sri Lankan health sector, there are private Ayurvedic health sector also available. And you know that the tourism, the tourist hotel, the wellness centers, and so many things, and we have to manage. All the provincial councils should have to manage in that part. Cultivation, the drug product, herbal cultivation, because the current situation also we are dependent on other countries, especially in India. If the India not give to ginger, the so many items, and we can't survive, because our land is land is limited, and most of our traditional herbs, primary herbs, we have to import from India and other countries. And finally, number 6 objective is drug production. And Sri Lankan, there are huge Ayurveda drug production market, because of so many factories. Our big factory we have in the government sector, and another medium scale 9 factories in all provinces under the government, and private sector also. There are so many factories that produce their drugs to the people, but our problem is we don't have much raw materials. Therefore, we have to depend your country also. We have to import, and we have to, after that we can value added and we can distribute. Under my purview, that 6 wings we are controlled. Therefore, in this type of situation, all the wings we should have to stimulate, because we have to think about the curative sector, and we have to prepare our hospital for the, if anything happen, those people come to our hospital, and more attention for the preventive side, and we have to give the our people how they manage, how they live without exposed to the coronavirus, and it is not true that the what they given by WHO things, they are think about that. The number one is a food and behavior. If we think about the food and we manage our behavior, I think our immunity is the maximum level, is not reduced, and we can survive from the coronavirus. And we have next one, and we have to energize our traditional physician, and we have to ask, they have to do their practices correctly and be carefully, because the patients are coming, they can't understand how to if this patient is a corona patient or is a normal patient, because we have to care, because all the days there are so many fractures, that the running nose, and there are so many things. The people come to the traditional physician, they are practicing their home. And next one is our herbal side, cultivation and production, because we have to think about our availability of drugs. If there is this type of situation, all the countries now locked down, the ships is not coming, our airport is closed, our port is closed, there are no drugs, and we have to promote our cultivation resources, and we have to utilize that limited resources for maximum benefit in this. That is the system in Sri Lanka. I think very similar to your country. How we are managing in Sri Lanka. One thing is not similar. Is in Sri Lanka free of charge.
Because a lot of people know in India that the Hanumanji brings Lakshmana booty, and there is some relation with Sri Lanka, and is there any such type of herb is present, that is Sanjeevani or the Lakshmana booty? Nowadays, the Ramayana is very now retelecasting in our Doordarshan, that is a government channel. So a lot of doctors and students, as well as the common man, also interested to know about is there any existence of that mountain or that type of herb, that is Lakshmana booty or the Sanjeevani booty? Actually, you will precisely elaborate it.
Yes, yes. In this time, not I'm going to tell that story, and that the Indian people think one way, Sri Lankan people think of one way. Sri Lankan people love always think about the Ravana is the. But anyhow, that the one that Hanuman come to Sri Lanka with the piece of mountain with the Himalayan, and he unfortunately dropped some small part in the our one place in near to the goal southern part of the Sri Lanka, we call the Unawatuna. Another one is the Reticula. But unfortunately, when we go to that places, there are so many varieties of the herbs, but not in Sri Lankan one. Not in Sri Lankan one. It's like a Himalayan. That is the we think about that places. And that the Sita, you not mentioned that Sita. There are so many places when we go to that places. Yes, when we go to that places, there are canal. We call the Ala in Sinhala is Ala. The nice water fountain is there, but the dry season also, the weather, the bad season, the heavy rain season also, the water is there. Unfortunately, we can't explain why is that. The people say that in that places is the Sita is live. that is only story. I think when I in the India, I listen the 5 professors, they present their survey. After that, the survey, the presentation, in that time also he proved that that story is true. But I don't know, it's open to the older peoples who are living in India and Sri Lanka and other part of the world. And something is there, something is there. I am also believe something is there, because I think thousands of years people are believe, if there is not truth, the people is throw away, but something is there. If you have to come to Sri Lanka, I can show you that places, and you can. I think you. I also not believe that is it the Sri Lanka. It's like a Himalayan mountain, part of the Himalayan mountain.
Yeah. So I just come to the final talk. Dr. Damaika, how and now actually you are a Sri Lankan government official, and I'm also a government official. How you think that how we can uplift Ayurveda, and how what is the need of our actually the language by which the scientific community understand, we have to use that language, and the research is a need of our. So what is your opinion, how we uplift Ayurveda in a level of actually the scientific level? Actually we are talking many things, but everybody is claiming that such formulation is working. I'm guaranteedly treating the COVID-19 cases. So many in India, so many Ayurveda Charya as well as Vedya has claimed that this type of infection we are treating. So I think that this is not a right way. If you are putting something and some concrete thing, then you have to be evidence-based science. So what is your opinion
Yes,
regarding this?
yes, yes. You are the good question. I think I don't have the much knowledge about that. Give the full answer of that question. Anyhow, now you know that when the COVID situation started, most of the Sri Lankan people, they are gradually use the coriander and other local remedies for prevention. But the government people, the government doctors or Ayurveda physician, no one advises the people. Just they try to found that the Hingu, and just they try to find the coriander and they use that, because they believe if that remedies when we use, they can survive this. And you know that the your country and our country also, I think especially in Kerala, what call that the ginger, cinnamon. There are so many varieties of the cardamom, like that. Uh, uh, so many food preservatives also they are used, and they think about. I think now in the China people also reducing, but the Sri Lankan people also use. And after that, you know that the COVID is came, and after that, so many people are questioning if these items, when we use these items with these remedies, uh, uh, are there any effect? But after that, you know that the some research persons, now they start the research. Now they publish their research papers also, and uh, our ITI, the Institute of the Industrial Technology Institute, they done a research, uh, the Daruharidra and the coriander, and they publish research paper and they prove they have the one coriander contain the bacteria killing action, the Daruharidra they have the virus killing action. But the problem is uh, they can use that to direct into the virus or bacteria. But the problem is when we drink that deduction or any churno, any panto, that how it's laboratory test, not the human trial. Because in the incident is came, there are no time, but we can't do the human trials because you know that they are get the ethical clearance and so many things. No, now just we inform the people, okay, you better use this. This is the how much you have to take this part. And according to our text, when we go to our text and we can find that type of remedy, they use the Janapada Adhyaya and Agantuka Jara, like that. In that time, most of the time, the earliest time they use. After that, we advise to people, you can use this type of remedies, but you should have to get the correct opinion from the any physician. Without, don't use this, because I have one example you to say. I can say to say you know that the hingu and vacha, when we use the hingu and vacha more, you know that there are abortion. I think I heard that if that smell can get the contraction of the uterus, something happen. And after that, we advise to the general public, don't use without any opinion from your physician, especially traditional physician, in this type of drug. Because you know that some people going to drink the alcohol in the Middle East country, try they use, because we advise to the rub your hands with alcohol. They try to drink alcohol and lost their life. Therefore, and especially we advise the people, if you're going to take any remedies from the our sector, you must get the advice from the proper advice from the your physician. That is the way. And now me also now attend to the research for these type of conditions, because this is not the final one. And you have idea about the coronavirus. And when you go to the coronavirus, I think this is the that the SARS, MERS, and we came to the corona, because in the December we named this is the end COVID-19 novel coronavirus. Now this is the, I think the name here also changed. Now name is SARS-CoV-2,
19.
like that. I think again another couple of days, sometimes change again, because Sri Lankan scientists says that there are not only the one virus, there are four type of virus, and after that the European scientists say that there are 10 viruses. We can't think about this is the final one. Therefore I think I will the physician, I will the science should have to think about that. And because our acharya is Dhanapad Sadhya, there's a chapter. There's a chapter. And again I think we have to think about that, and we have to prepare plan for future. Because you know that I think one third of no I think 75% of the people now in their home, everything is stopped. Not in our country, all over the world. In future they are going to like that. No, we have to think, if this type of attack come, how we survive and we do our jobs and our works and our everything. Because now, and we can see after the next month what we think about that. In Sri Lanka, there are huge problem, because some people they don't lose their jobs. Not in Sri Lanka, the other countries also same. I saw that America there are more people waiting for the door, and other countries I don't have about that India. I saw one thing is one girl going to their home the more than 100 kilometers, she died. But that is the situation. My opinion is, don't think about that this is the final one. We have to face this type of incidents in the future. And there are more opportunities to the Ayurvedic people, more opportunities to the Ayush people, according to their discipline, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, and according to that discipline, we have to think, we have to do something, we have to, our responsibility is protect our peoples, protect our nations, and develop the better health to the world. That is my final opinion to the who are the audience, who are the listeners with me today. We
So
have the
many
opportunity.
listeners are
Now we have to
responding.
take it.
Yeah, so many listeners are responding. They are watching you. Vijay Jadhav is a greeting to you. Vijay Jadhav, I think you remember him. He's on the workshop at Bangladesh, Dhaka. So many Shir
Yeah,
Sagar, Rajendra, Savita, Kotial, Prerak Shah. Many of the, actually this program is now live. And evening again,
yeah,
we will retelecast it after some editing. We again retelecast it to the main page. So I think that we got every aspect we discussed about the this what is this how the COVID-19 is dealing with COVID-19 in Sri Lanka, and what is the role of Ayurveda, and what is the final message what you want to give to our students and doctors. One thing only, finally, I want to know about that. What is the Sri Lankan Ayurvedic education system? Can you little bit you just give a light on that? The Ayurvedic education system in Sri Lanka.
yeah. In Sri Lanka, Ayurvedic is under the four universities. There are institute of one is Colombo. Under the University of Colombo, we call the Institute of Indigenous Medicine in Colombo. Another one is the Kalania, University of Kalania, Gampaha Vikramarachya Ayurveda College. And another one is Jaffna, under the Jaffna University. Another one is the East, under the Eastern University. There are four universities. Each and every year we have BUMS, BAMS, and BSMS. 600 graduates each year coming out of these universities. And if anyone have to, that the all the people can't enter the universities, but they have to fulfill their Z-co in Sri Lanka. If the people, if the student score that the Z-co is at that maximum level, they can, there are cut-off level, they can enter the traditional medical system. The top to the dental faculty, and third, fourth people come to the Ayurveda faculties. Uh, and that is the undergraduate system. In Sri Lanka, we don't have master's level. Most of the Sri Lankan doctors come to the India for their masters, and so many people now get their masters from the India. I think Indian government gives a plus support for that master and PhD level. I am the one of the person from the get my education from your country. That is the produced through that 4 universities. But the education is totally free. I want to mention that everything totally free. I think 100,000 rupees spent each student for each year in Sri Lanka for traditional system of medicine.
Very, I am very happy to know it, because in India it's very expensive nowadays. So many private colleges are here, and I'm just by knowing that it's the education is almost free. 1,000, it's very good thing. Here the fees is in lakhs. In government sector also the fees is so much high. So it's very good effort to promote Ayurveda and health education in Sri Lanka. It's very high. Our government must have to, I think they have to follow or they have to take some guidelines from the Sri Lanka regarding the fee structure. And one thing finally I want to know that is there any council like here India, now the council is dissolved, but is there any monitoring body to look after the academic institutes? Yeah, like here previously the CCIM was in existence, now it is dissolved. Is there any such type of institution?
Yes, I want to add one thing for you. In Sri Lanka, we have only 22 million people, but your country is a 1.29 billion. Won't compare with the Sri Lanka. According to your population, I think government can do like that. But the older people can't give. I think that the older people can't give that free of charge everything, because our country is a small population. That is that I want to say you that unless that the misunderstand what the two governments doing that their jobs. Okay, anyhow, in Sri Lanka also we have a Ayurveda Medical Council, but we don't have the CCIM like that council. Always medical council guideline for the treatment. The thing we are following that the CCIM, because the CCIM approval on the University of Colombo for the masters, and after that we did so many. After that discussion with the CCIM people, now Gampaha Vikramarchi people also can come to the India for the masters. Now it's we are going little bit up with the dialogue with the CCM. I don't know what is the reason of the dissolve the CCIM, because I heard one thing. Your prime minister announced the Ayurveda people can do this type of medicine. I think sometime I don't know this. I heard that the CCIM not agree that, and after that your prime minister dissolved that CCIM and that.
Actually, CCIM, not only CCIM, the Medical Council of India is also dissolved, and now there is a separate body which is acting. So I think that there is some issues related with these councils. That's why the government has decided to dissolve it, and now they are making a separate organizations for that, who is looking after the academic institutions. So this is a I think this is a general policy by which the Central Council of Homeopathy, Central Council of Indian Medicine, as well as the Medical Council of India, all the three councils have been dissolved. So the Michael asked, this is very, we have discussed each and every aspects of the Ayurveda as well as the Sri Lankan context, as well as the academic institution, the government infrastructure and how the government works there. I hope that our all the viewers, students, doctors, they much more know about how the Ayurveda is flourishes, how Ayurveda is work. Ayurveda is actually in this in Sri Lanka, how it is working at the dispensary level. In India also, nowadays in the COVID-19 cases, the Ayush Ministry has given a role to the all the Ayush doctors to take a main role. They are working in the quarantine center, as well as they are working in their field also. So they all are now the Ayush, the people of India is also in the main lead role in nowadays in COVID-19. I think in Sri Lanka also the government also officials also involved the Ayurvedic people there also in the COVID-19 quarantine centers or not. I just want to know. Yeah.
No, in Sri Lanka, government advised all the Western medicine field and Ayurvedic field, they should have to open every day in their centers. Don't close any central dispensaries, any hospitals, and every day they should have to open their centers, and they should have to give the service to the people. And there is the government arrange a special transport system. Even the curfew area also special transport system. Anyone want to take their medicine, and the government arrange the transport system to come to their government dispensaries, and after that they can go to the home. But we totally locked down the Western and Ayurveda private practice. Anyone can't do the private practice in Sri Lanka from 18th of March to up to now. Anyone can't do the private practice. Only government person can go. Government person should attend their hospital center dispensary and open, and they are giving the service to the people. That is the system in Sri Lanka. According to that, our Ayurveda all because in government sector, Sri Lanka, there are 2,448 government medical practice practicing in Sri Lanka. According in day to day, I think even there are no Saturday, Sunday, no public holiday. They should have to come to their centers open, and if any person is come to that centers, they should have to provide their treatment. And not only that, if anyone can't come to the centers, and if on call to the head of that center, and after that they have to send their after the telephone conversation, and they prescribe the medicine, and they direct send to the patient. March up to now, I think after the 11th, the next month, the Sri Lanka going to remove the lockdown all the places. I don't know after that what happened, but the second thing is now the government advised thoroughly, if they are going to open the current country, they make the Ayurvedic remedies. Please arrange a hospital each district for COVID patient through Ayurvedic sector. That is that is the new advice from the government. Now we are preparing. Now we have only 2 days. Now I advise to my province, all the doctors. Now you better prepare, and I give the practical experience how to wear mask, how to wear goggles, how to wear face shield, and how to wear PP kit, how to remove it, and everything we train, and how to make a triage point and trace the person to their centers if the patient come, and we prepare now. I think if you can start on your place also better. Now we are ready to face the future. I don't know. I don't have idea about that, because next Monday, 11th, our country is open to all the people.
So, Dr. Dhameka, thanks a lot. We have a very good discussion, and I think we have discussed all the points. Thanks for giving me a time and a very a precious talk on the different aspects of Ayurveda, as well as we discussed the COVID-19 scenario, as well as we discussed a little bit the Ayush medicines, Ayurveda medicines also. So different aspects we covered in this 1-hour program. And I'm again thankful to you. So you have accepted my request to to come on this platform. Actually, we have created this platform to interact with actually the so many students and doctors are not aware, but what, they are not able to go Sri Lanka. That's why they want to know. They have more curiosity. So this is my actually my vision, that I bring all the international fraternity and faculty to this platform and introduce to our students and delegates and doctors. That's why they will more updated regarding this as the Ayush sector, what internationally now the thing is going on. So I'm very much thankful to you, and I hope that we all cope up from this current scenario, and the swasthasya swasthya rakshanam and aturasya vikara prasamanam, what is the aim of Ayurveda. We all follow, we all will work for that aim also, and may God bless all the humanity to face this situation. So I'm again thankful to you, and thanks for giving your precious time. And we again in future, we again request you to come on this platform to share your thoughts to our students, doctors, and delegates. Thank you, sir.